Welcome back, Dave Scott, Civic Center TV, here in the city of Orchard Lake Village, now joined by the Director of City Services, Gerry McCallum. Hi, Gerry.
Good afternoon, David.
Good. You're always so accessible and friendly, and we enjoy our relationship with you, your electeds, and this entire community. And I was here not too long ago to get a tour of your amazing new infrastructure here. How's the team liking it?
Oh, we're loving it, Dave. It's a great improvement, and we're so blessed to have this for our employees, and what an asset to the community as well. The morale has been boosted dramatically by having new facilities such as this. Our police department are functioning at top end, along with the DPW. Just a great improvement overall.
So you are the city, I always struggle with this to get it out, but you are the city of Orchard Lake Village. Yeah. So I read into that cities typically have a lot more comprehensive services than a township, for example. Is that the case here?
Yeah, actually. So yes, you're absolutely correct. And when we incorporated as a city many years ago, they kept the village name, because we used to be a village prior to being incorporated as a city. Kept the village name because they like the little quaint aspects of it, but we are an incorporated city. A little bit more benefits from that through state funding, through road funding, etc. Why we incorporated as a village versus as a city versus staying as a village.
So if West Bloomfield ever becomes a city, it's going to be the city of West Bloomfield Township.
It might be. I don't know. That's up to them how they want to do their name.
No, it's cool. I get it. Because, yes, you might be a city structurally, but clearly this feels like a village. You don't have a lot of land mass. Everyone seems to know each other and get along pretty well.
Sure. Yeah, we're a pretty well-developed community. I mean, most of our residential builds are new builds, or tear downs and rebuilds.
Right.
Commercial, obviously, we're built out on the north and the south end on the commercial, but we do have it's a great community here. People love to live in Orchard Lake. They love the lakes. They love the quality of the lakes. They love the quality of services they get through their municipality.
Speaking of services, you do have a higher responsibility being a city for maintaining your roads. You've only got a couple of roads that are maintained by others here, Orchard Lake Road being one of them, but you do an awful lot of road service and road maintenance
we
here
do. Our local roads, which are subdivision roads, Indian Trails are considered a local road also, but we do resurface those periodically. We have a capital outlay plan that we produced many years ago that is based upon a PASER rating of the road surface itself, and our city council allocates so much of the general fund every year. Plus, we use our Act 51 funding to supplement road paving for our residents. If you ever talk to residents in a community, one of their biggest concerns, I think, is road maintenance. They want to drive on nice roads. They want good road surfaces in their subdivision. That's what we try to provide here.
Well, I mean, who doesn't? We just did a story on Civic Center TV. The Road Commission for Oakland County came out with a new app, which is really good for reporting potholes.
Okay.
Which it's inevitable. They do a great job. I'm not criticizing them, but there are a lot of potholes, and everybody hates it, especially if you got a nice car. Last thing you want to go do is go ding a rim on some pothole.
Sure. And that's one benefit of living in the city, especially the city of Orchard Lake Village, is because we have our own Act 51 funding. We're able to maintain our roads ourselves, whereas townships usually are under the jurisdiction of the Road Commission. So a little bit different. There are some communities, townships that have their own Department of Public Works do the road resurfacing, but they're far and few between.
By the way, I didn't ask Gerry or have any conversation about these questions before we did this. So this is just the dumbest question ever.
There's no dumb questions,
just let me know. So you got all these lakes here. You know, you got more lakes, and this isn't unusual in our service area. But you have a lot of lakes. What does that cause any challenge economically or otherwise for the municipality?
Excuse me. Economically, from what standpoint?
Well, I mean, do you have maintenance on lakes or anything? I mean, anything extra that?
So we're very fortunate that we do have a aquatic advisory board for Orchard Lake that handles the day-to-day operations of the lake itself. We're talking about water quality aspects, herbicide, weed harvesting, marine patrol, goose ground up, and stuff like that. Recently formed on Upper Straits Lake was a multi-jurisdictional SAD with West Bloomfield Township to create the same thing. And again, they have an aquatic advisory board that handles the day-to-day operations. So we're very fortunate to have those volunteers and those individuals that offer their time to keep our water quality at the highest and most valuable, hence keeps our property values up as well.
So they're looking at the water quality in our lakes. I have seen them on the waters, harvesting
Yes.
some of the seaweed and other things in the lake 'cause that can become a problem for boaters and other
Oh, very
people.
much so, very much so. And with a community like Orchard Lake, or even West Bloomfield Township, we got Upper Straits Lake in it. People enjoy their water sports. They like to be out there in the summertime. But the aquatic advisory boards for both lakes doing a phenomenal job. But there's input from our city council as well. So.
We touched on it a little bit when we were talking to the mayor a minute ago about the way you were able to live within a budget and do projects like your new construction project here without having to go back to the voters and ask for more money. Can you talk about that a little
I will,
bit?
and I think it's very important to know that it's not just one individual. I developed the budget, but the budget goes through the finance committee, which consists of 3 council members and then private individuals as well, and then it goes to city council. So it's a team effort when we develop a budget. I may put it together, but it's a team effort, and we decide, okay, we could do this year, this that year, etc. We do a 3-year budget, and that helps us forecast for the future as well. But again, it's a team effort on all the committees, city council, and staff on keeping things fiscally tight around here and keeping our millage rate at the 8.06 operating that it has been over the last 7 years, 8 years.
I mean, that's remarkable.
And to build this type of project, as you mentioned, Dave.
Yeah, that's really remarkable.
So,
Great job for you. And before we wrap up, this potential development that's going on on Orchard Lake Road, you've got one of these things. We call them a PUD back in the studio, but it's really a planned unit development. And if you go to any of the planning meetings, that, if I understand it, gives a municipality an opportunity to do some creative things on that site. Can you talk about that, especially if it relates to this potential new 4-story building that we may be seeing on Orchard Lake Road?
So, not to correct you or anything, Dave, but our ordinance refers to it as a planned development, not a planned urban development. But if you looked in our ordinance, it says PD development. So, the PD development is a process in the ordinance that allows something that doesn't necessarily fit in that zoning district, right, as a square box. It allows them to expand that and say, okay, it may not fit in there, but you could do this. You could go 3 stories. You could put a different use in there possibly. But it's really a contract that exists between the municipality and the developer to say, okay, we'll allow you to put this type of structure in outside of the realm of what the ordinance allows in that district, but you're going to have to do this, this, and that, and it's agreement that is actually signed by both parties. So, and we are plowing new ground here. This is the first PD that we've had gone this far. As the mayor had mentioned, it's at the planning commission level now. So it's something new for everybody, but we're excited to see if it does come to fruition. So,
all right, well, I mean, just from a consumer and an area resident standpoint, anytime we get a new exciting restaurant or some new exciting business on the retail side that we can go and embrace and see them become active in the community, as long as it's not causing anybody any other harm or causing a traffic snarl or something, it's always great to see some of these new developments.
Absolutely, especially in our commercial development. Our commercial development's been in existence for quite some time. What we're seeing right now is a redevelopment bubble in a way, and that's great, especially for, like Mayor had mentioned, the Village Palace, because that business has been shut down since COVID, so that will be a brand new building, very nice, eloquent building. So nice to see that we're getting redevelopment on some of these older type structures.
And on residential, if there's going to be any development on the residential side, it's almost always going to be redevelopment. I assume at this point, given the history of this community, you don't have a lot of vacant land for homes.
We don't. Excuse me. In fact, a lot of our work is tear downs and rebuilds is what they are. And that helps our tax base. So as long as they follow the zoning ordinance requirements and stuff like that, then we're good. But we always like to see development. Again, it helps our tax base tremendously.
You do a great job. Your electeds do as well. But there's a bunch of people right behind us that are working really hard. Before we wrap up, talk about your staff.
So first of all, I'll talk about administrative side staff, and then I'll even throw some comments in about chief staff as well. We've got a great people here that work for the city. They care about the city. They care about the individuals in this community. We provide a very high level of service, and not only from the administrative side, but from the police department side. We are a service-oriented business, if you want to call it that. But I always tell my staff that whoever walks through that door, I don't care if you're a contractor, I don't care if you're a homeowner, we provide the highest level of service that we can for them. And the chief does the same thing in his department. Our officers are very receptible to situations that occur. They do a tremendous job in our community and dealing with our residents. Really, the core is the council, but the council hires the employees, and they hire great employees as well. So, and we've got a great community here. We all enjoy working for this community. So,
well, and real quick before we say so long, that with regard to the police department, Rob Kelman over in Kego said, last thing he would ever do and they would ever do there is get rid of their small police department. I assume the feelings are similar here in Orchard Lake. Even though you don't have a large department, it's very important to your citizens.
It is very much so, because the police department does a fabulous job, Dave, for our residents. For example, we have a lot of snowbirds that go down south during the winter. They'll go out and do house checks. On every shift, these houses are checked to make sure that all the doors are locked and stuff like that. You don't find that happens in bigger communities or with a larger police force, etc. They do assistant calls with our residents. So it's again a high level of service that our city council expects from employees, and which we do for our residents. So
I appreciate that. And you've always provided Civic Center TV a high level of service.
I try to, Dave.
Every time we've come knocking on your door. So Gerry McCallum, thank you very much for
Always
your time.
Pleasure talking to you, Dave.
So there you have it, the latest from two of the leaders right here in the city of Orchard Lake Village. I'm Dave Scott for Civic Center TV.